Hello, dear friends. When the storm rages, it is best to take shelter and remain calm and balanced. Opinion piece. Expectations. Longing for liberation. Apocalypse now? No. The void rests in nothingness. How to achieve the unattainable. Transcending duality is the vision of the king. This world is transitory like dreams. The clouds that wander through the sky have no roots. The darkness of centuries cannot hide the bright sun. Let's start. An expectation is the hope of doing or getting something, the reasonable possibility of something happening or the possibility of obtaining a right, an inheritance, a job, or otherwise when an event that is anticipated occurs. But it is important that this expectation does not lead to passivity because each of us has our own duties to fulfill. Steve Biko believes that force majeure revaluation would have to happen soon to save the economy from a possible financial catastrophe, as it could collapse the economy around the world. And that is his optimism in the face of the inevitable. Recovery would be more difficult than timely intervention right now to save infrastructure before it is too late. Did you know that there is already a world that works for everyone in what Matthew Watt calls the continuum, the higher dimensions? Every dimension above us represents presents a love so satisfying that one experiences no lack, no hunger, no thirst. The love they experience is more than enough to satisfy all their desires. However, I trust the following advice from Archangel Michael. One of the things we do is also plant a broader vision so that the person who is involved in a highly complex situation, it is not just about money, it is about values. We will plant a long-term vision in key people. Shankara called our love for divine qualities the longing for liberation. We must realize that we are part of an ascension process that goes beyond history and will be examined by civilizations throughout the universe in the future. We inspire a broader vision so that you have, like a lightning bolt, the understanding of all the steps of what can be achieved. We create situations and combinations of energies that allows this to come to fruition. Therefore, this is similar to setting the banquet table, knowing that it will be a delicious meal. Everything is prepared. Now, can we make you eat? No. But usually, the inspiration, the vision, the development that has been planted within is so beautiful and so clear that it is almost like a compulsion on the part of the individual or the group to proceed in a certain direction. According to Mike Kinsey, we try to help by putting ideas in mind, but in no way will we impose them. If you put in the work, we can help and will always point you in the direction that leads to fair and honest deals to make people better. But you must take the first step so that we know where you're going. Economy. Millet declares the end of the world economy as we know it according to Sochafal. Javier Millet wants that the state doesn't create wealth, but rather destroys it. The state cannot give you anything because it does not produce anything, he says, in quotes. Tucker Carlson traveled to Argentina to warn that hyperinflation and reckless monetary policy could devastate the economy. Antony Blinken says that the old world order is over and that the decisions we make now will shape the future for decades to come. The president of the ECB also predicted the end of the world economy as we know it. Last month, Christine Lagarde predicted the collapse of the international financial order before a large audience of central bankers. Bloomberg reported that wealthy Russians have begun repatriating their assets from the European Union to Russia. At least 50 billion has been withdrawn from Western countries since last year. Putin said in quotes that the new era of Western economic collapse due to its unsustainable debt used to finance endless wars to maintain its global hegemony is coming to an end. A 4.9 magnitude earthquake shakes central Italy. Spain has the smallest job offer in Europe, and a third is for civil servants. It only offers 52 vacancies for every 1,000 unemployed. The petrodollar will run out of gas in 2023, according to Bo Polney. He says to expect chaos, but don't lose faith in divine power and control. He said that human beings cannot fix the world's corrupt morals. Only God can fix it. Retailers turn to fog machines to create near zero visibility and stop theft. If they can't see it, they can't steal it. A new security system sends a dense fog into the air, trapping criminals and preventing them from carrying out robberies. Geopolitics. The United Nations meets in New York City on September 18th and 19th to promote the 2030 globalist agenda. According to Benjamin Fulford, the world is heading towards a kind of confrontation. The UN failed to achieve its 2000 goals of ending poverty and halting environmental destruction, and is also failing to achieve the same goals by 2030. No wonder the collapse of the post-war world order is expected. That's why all kinds of intrigue are going on beneath the surface, as the battle to replace the old world order intensifies. Puff said, "Rest assured that everything is on the right track and only a few things from the dark side are expected for the last time. Dig in and wait. That's the best that can be offered. We know how much everyone longs for more concrete truth, but if we had it, we would be remiss in allowing it to be published. Calm your aching heart and allow the process to fully unfold. That's the bottom line right now. Wait and wait some more. Whenever there is a progress, it is happily reported. There are some whistleblowers who would like to tell their truth, but cannot be sure that they feel protected enough to snitch on their bosses. We might hear about some significant developments in the near future." German MEP calls for peaceful disobedience of tyranny. German member of the European Parliament, Christine Anderson, said this week that she would continue to fight for people's freedoms around the world, but called for citizens to peacefully reject tyranny in return, in coming wave of mandates and blockades. According to NEO, the Nazca mummies presented in Mexico correspond to the species of the Tunis from Tuis, small planet on the outer perimeter of the galaxy. They were fascinated with the Earth and landed in small ships in the mountains of Peru. These beings are peaceful and loving, although they lack technological advances that allow great journeys through the cosmos. They consume plants and water to sustain themselves. They enjoy simple cabins and rock formations, where many gather to share news and maintain their privacy. The Tunis live 600 years and are incarnated again into the own race. After visiting Earth many times and having close connections with the Incas and other indigenous tribes, The tunnels were discovered by others in the area, and great fear gripped humans. People often fear what they do not understand. Those who arrived and saw the tunnels tried to kill them, and the small beings fled to caves in the mountains. Curious. Solar storm. Arriving a day earlier than expected, a solar storm hit the Earth's magnetic field yesterday, Monday, September 18th. The fast-moving storm could trigger a G2 class geomagnetic storm that is now underway. Have you had trouble resting? You feel a huge surge of cosmic energy pouring in, and this is not just the result of solar flares, but in fact the full opening of the energies of the new Earth and the beginning of the new Golden Age. Balancing Energy of the Equinox by Meg Benedict. We enter the portal of the equinox on Friday, September 22nd. The equinox occurs at 0 degrees Libra, the sign of the balanced scale, the equalizer of opposing forces, and brings a balanced attunement to the field. This encourages you to weave more balance into yourself and the world, and provides valuable stillness in the midst of the chaos. It is a transformative moment of weave opposing the energies into a unified balance. Message from Merelia. There is good news. The reality is that a lot of help is coming now. The first step is to help the planet, which is currently in a spiral. Fear not. You are on the right track. The Earth itself has decided to make certain changes, and this will become evident to you as you progress. The Earth's circulation system spins like a top. If the jet stream starts to disperse, everything would start to change very quickly. Did Pope Francis activate the prophecy of the end of times? Asks Taylor Marshall. Pope Francis' recent visit to Russia could have fulfilled the prophecy about the end of times. The world is in the grip of a spiritual battle. How should Christians live in a world increasingly antagonistic toward their faith? Jesus warned about darkness. Most of us have been programmed to always reject all the well-deserved natural abundance of God's children. This is because our mind disbelieves everything around us, because it believes that our own source attempt to help us is impossible. Definitely a nonsense of darkness. Each of you is a unique and beautiful expression of divine love, says Yeshua through John Smallman. You are all divine beings of pure love, and what your earthly presence at this moment is providing is intensely warm and compassionate support for those who are struggling or refusing to allow themselves to wake up due to their own powerful feelings of inadequacy. Messages. Daily message from Kesharaj. You must do what you can to stay at a higher frequency. Sing, dance, meditate, play, spend time with family, friends, or alone. Whatever brings you joy, do it, and release all your fears and worries. A new world of paradise awaits your arrival. The path of freedom is paved with love, according to Archangel Michael, through Deborah Finn. To stay aligned with your truth, it is essential that you connect with your divine self on a regular basis. Ask to feel this divine presence always and in every sense. Move with it, live it, breathe it in, express it. It will give you strength, it will give you courage, it will protect you, it will heal you, it will always support you. Let it rise from within you. Message from Babaji. When the storm rages, when thousands of years of garbage are dumped, and when your world turns upside down, then it is important to guarantee well-being in your own area. Withdraw from the world when events overwhelm you. Retreat within when unrest spreads around you, and find support in your living and intact relationships. You are accompanied in everyday life in unimaginable and unthinkable ways, and you are surrounded by luminous powers in your everyday life. Ascension or rapture to a higher world has long been anticipated, but today we are reaching the climax with world changes accelerating. When this happens, the physical material of the planet and everything on it will be upgraded to a higher existence in the blink of an eye. The art of doing nothing. You don't have to do anything at all, as your natural essence will emerge naturally. You just have to stop doing what represses the appearance of your natural essence. Then you have to let go of the attempt to impress, to make things happen, to grab and hold, to prove, to justify, to be better than others. You just have to let go of what is not you, so that your natural essence emerges, says Nadina Baum. The void rests in nothingness. By doing nothing but being simple and natural, one reaches one's own essence, says the Mahamudra song of Tilopa. The void doesn't need support. Mahamudra rests in nothingness, without making any effort, but by remaining relaxed and natural, one can break the yoke, thus achieving freedom. The clouds that wander in the sky have no roots, no home, nor do the various thoughts that float in the mind. Once you contemplate on your own mind, discrimination ceases. Transcending duality is the vision of the king. Conquering distractions is the practice of the kings. The path of non-practice is the path of all Buddhas. He who travels this path reaches the state of the Buddha. This world is transitory, like ghosts and dreams, without any substance. Renounce him and abandon your relatives. Cut the cords of lust and hatred and meditate in the forest mountains. If you stop struggling and remain relaxed and natural, you will soon attain Mahamudra and reach the unattainable. Cut the root of a tree and its leaves will dry. Cut the root of your mind and samsara will vanish. The light of a lamp disperses the darkness of long ages immediately. The intense light of the mind will burn, like lighting the veil of ignorance. At first, the yogi feels that his mind is rushing like a waterfall. In the middle of its course, it flows slowly and placidly, like the Ganges. In the end, it is like a great and vast ocean, where the lights of the sun and the mother merge into one. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.